Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm actually going to be doing a story time video about my worst Airbnb experience that I've had. And I haven't had that many, so this is actually saying a lot. Okay, I want to preface this by saying if you know me and you watch me and stuff, then you know that I don't cuss in my videos normally, but I'm gonna be cussing today, so if you don't want to hear that, then just don't watch this video. Let's just jump into this story, guys. So my boyfriend and I are long distance. He lives in LA, I don't, and I wanted to go see him for the first time, so I ended up booking this rental in LA. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath rental. My bestie was going to be coming with us, so she was also going to be there, so there was space for everyone. I'm going to be looking at my computer right here because I have the messages and the receipts and everything pulled up, so if I'm looking off, that's why. So I placed the reservation on August 10th of 2023, and the reservation was not until October. I've thought about this, and I don't necessarily want to like straight up just like dox this host and this rental, but I think by the end of this, I'm not going to be very forgiving and I'm going to want to. So I'm just going to say this. The title of their listing is called Mid-Century Style Newly Remodeled 2-Bed, 2-Bathrooms. That's the title of the listing. The name of the host is Luxury Suite and Rental. That's like the name of the host. That's the name that they provided for themselves. It is in the LA area. It's not in like the heart of the city, but it's like, you know, LA is like here and like it's somewhere like, you know, here. Do with that information what you will. Back to the story, girl. So I booked this reservation in August. The Airbnb reservation wasn't until October. So whatever, fast forward, October rolls around, we make our way down there, and it's about like a 6-hour drive from where I live to LA. It's a little bit more with if you like stop or if there's traffic or whatever. Now, our check-in was on until 4 p.m. and we did make it to the house by, I want to say, I have the time here, 3:49. So we made it there by 3:49. Our check-in was at 4. So for the rental, the way to enter the rental was through like a keypad lock on the door. A lot of rentals will do this. That way you don't have to like meet up with anyone and they can like give you a key. It's just like a lock pad on the door and you just type in the code and then you can go in that way. And they change the code for every guest, obviously. So the host sent me the lock code at 3 o'clock on the 11th, so an hour before our reservation. And she just told me how to unlock and lock the door, X, Y, and Z. So we arrived at the rental by 3:49. So we were about 10 minutes early, and I held out for a little bit, but I had to pee so bad, you guys. I had to pee so bad. So I ended up messaging her at 3:49. I said, hi, we are a bit early. Would it be okay to have access now? We really have to use the restroom. So I sent that at 3:49 p.m. At 3:54 p.m. they respond, they say, okay. And then they said, I have unlocked it for you. So at this point, my bestie and I, we got out of the car and we did go up and we did try to unlock the door. But I don't know if we just like put the code in wrong or if she actually did not give us access yet. I'm not quite sure, but the door did not even unlock. So we ended up actually waiting until 4 o'clock and we actually entered the house at 4. So we were not in the Airbnb rental early. We entered the house at 4 o'clock when we were supposed to. I want to make that abundantly clear. So we start going throughout our trip. Everything's pretty great. I'm not gonna lie, the Airbnb was okay. It was fine. The furniture in there was kind of dingy, kind of old. The dining table had chairs and then on one side it was a bench, not chairs, and the bench was like stained. It was like a fabric bench and there was just like stains and stuff on it. It looked kind of dirty, which was just kind of... We did a lot of shopping while I was down there and I bought a lot of new socks while I was down there, brand new socks, and I actually wore them around the Airbnb, and literally like a day after we arrived there, I would be walking around the rental with brand new socks on, and the bottom of my feet would literally be like black because the floor was so dirty. I was shocked, but okay. The TV in the living room was mounted on the wall, and underneath there were some like floating shelves, and I had brought my Nintendo Switch with me to play the Switch on the TV, but I felt really nervous putting the Switch on these like floating shelves because they literally, you could just like touch it and it would literally just like come off the wall. Like they were not secure at all. They were also like all kind of slanting downwards. They were wiggly. I mean, just like how hard is it to put up a shelf? Like you can't do that. Like what the heck? Also, a big thing about this rental was there were no extra like toilet paper, paper towels. There were not even any tissues in the whole place. There were also no extra trash bags anywhere. Like there was just nothing. And I kind of get it because maybe you don't want to just like fully stock your rental with like a huge Costco sized bag of paper towels in the cupboard because people might steal them. So I get it, that's fine, but you can't put just like one extra roll in there. Like I just don't understand that. Not to mention, I paid $1,000 for this Airbnb. It was 4 nights, I want to say. It was October 11th through October 16th, so it was like 5 nights or something like that. $1,000, by the way. $1,000. So like for $1,000 you can't leave an extra roll of paper towels in the cupboard. So that was just kind of annoying to me, but okay. Also, in our room that I was staying in, there were like these wall decorations, and the best way to describe them was kind of like a trellis. They were kind of just like these wood cutout decorations on the walls, and one of them was like literally broken. It was broken, and then on the wall underneath the decoration there was literally like a hole had been like punched into the wall. I was like, what is going on here? And also in our bathroom, so there was a 2-bed 2-bath, so there was like a bathroom in the hallway, and then there was a bathroom, like an ensuite attached to the room that I was staying in. And in my bathroom there were literally like where the toilet paper holder should have been, where the towel rack should have been, where the hand towel holder should have been, literally giant nail holes in the wall, paint, plaster ripped off the walls. Like literally there was a toilet paper holder on the wall and someone just like literally ripped it off. I don't know what the fuck was going on. Not to mention the floor was also really creaky in places in the living room. When you would walk out there, the floor was super creaky. It was just like laminate flooring, so it was just very creaky. And also in my bathroom, the shower floor was, you guys, it was so I cannot even describe how loud it was. It was so creaky. It was so loud. Like if somebody was sleeping in the room and you were in the shower, you absolutely would have woken them up because the floor was so, in the shower, so random, but the floor was so creaky. I'm like, why is it so creaky? Also, when we arrived at the Airbnb, in my room, the towels from my bathroom were hung up on hangers in the closet still, but in my friend's bathroom, her towels were all like folded and put away nicely, but for some reason mine were still hanging, so I guess they just forgot or something to put my towels away, but they were like hanging up, which is like fine. It's not a big deal, but that happened. And then also in my room I was staying in, there was a nightstand in the room, and I opened the drawer to kind of like put my stuff away, and we found a dirty used washcloth in the drawer. Girl, there was like brown stains on it. Like, oh no. Girl, I took that like this and I put it in the trash. I was like, no, I do not play that. What is that? That is disgusting. I also feel like the rental had very minimal supplies. There were literally like 3 forks. We had to run the dishwasher every time we had a meal because there were literally 3 forks, which is insane to me. I just feel like you're calling it a luxury suite and rental, like you can't have like a normal amount of forks. And then the cherry on the cake, this was like the big thing that happened, okay? So we arrived at the Airbnb on Wednesday and we were leaving the following Monday. So this day, it was Saturday morning and we woke up, and don't really remember, but my boyfriend got woken up, and then I think like him waking up might have like woken me up, and I think I also was woken up by this. Like I don't really know, but we were both like woken up because there was very loud construction going on right outside our house. We end up getting up, we start going about our morning, getting ready to leave. We were gonna go to the mall that day, so we were getting ready to leave. And I walk out into the kitchen, and there's like windows all inside the house, but all the windows in like the living room area and stuff, they're all covered with blinds. But there's one window in the kitchen above the sink that looks out onto the side of the house, and that one has no curtains or blinds or anything. And when I walked out there in the morning and I looked out the window, there were like a bunch of men, like construction workers outside on the side of the house, like building a fence on this, like on the property. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was never previously notified that there would be construction on the property while we were staying there. I want to be very clear that I am not like entitled, I'm not pretentious, I'm not needy. Like I'm very low maintenance because I really hate, I'm a people pleaser, okay? I really hate being a bother. I hate being annoying. I don't like, it's fine. So again, I wasn't like that upset about it because it's just like, it's whatever. Like it would have been nice to have just been like notified about it, but like it is what it is, okay? So to give you a bit of a description about the place we were staying at, it was just a house and it was on a busy street. So here's the house. On this side of the house, there was another house. And then on this side, it was literally just like this empty dirt plot of land. It was just like an empty plot. There was just dirt. There was lots of like trash in there. There was some like abandoned like camping chairs that had been set up that were like left behind, whatever. On this day, they were actually building a fence to separate the property that we were staying at from the dirt plot. So it was just a fence in between those two plots of land, right? It also bothers me because you don't just like have someone build a fence at the drop of a hat. I had this Airbnb booked for 2 months. You're telling me that in that entire 2-month period, you didn't know you were gonna be having construction on the lot? And even if it was like the day of, like that's fine. At least just any type of prior acknowledgement of like, hey, there's gonna be construction. I apologize for any inconvenience. Like, you know, at the very least, but nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, I forgot to mention the driveway, if you could even call it that, for this house was like literally just a 1-lane driveway. It was on this, it went all the way along the side of the house. In front, there was a big plot of grass, and then off to the side, it was just a 1-car width strip of concrete, the driveway that went all along to the back of the house, all along the side of the house, which is where they were building the fence. In order for me to leave the house, I had to back up onto that plot of grass and then drive out. Like that's literally what I had to do. I had to drive onto the grass. We're about to leave. My boyfriend looks out the front door. There's glass in the door so he can see out there. So he looks out there and he's like, you're gonna want to see this. And I go over, and the truck that the construction drivers were driving or whatever was in the driveway, and it was basically blocking me in because it's a 1-lane driveway. It fits 1 car width. So I was parked and then the truck was right behind me, and so I was not able to get out. So I was like, oh my god, that's so annoying. So I was like, cool. So now I'm like, I have to go out there and like ask them to move it. Like that's so, I hate, I'm just not like, I just am like introverted and like a homebody. I don't like to talk to people. Like, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. Like, you know, I go outside and there was like a bunch of men kind of towards the back of the house, and there were some kind of at the front as well. Like there was just a lot of people, I don't know. And I kind of like call back to them. I'm like, hi, like, can you guys move your truck? And they all kind of were just like, so I'm like, okay. So I don't think that they spoke English because I was talking to them and they weren't responding to me. I was like, fuck. I was like, I don't know what to do. So I kind of just was standing there like, I don't know what to do. Like, so then after like a few moments of me just standing there, this man, he walks out from like behind the fence that they just built, and he's like, hi. He's like, oh, do you need to get out? And I was like, yes. He's like, okay, I'll have them move the car. I was like, thank you so much. And I go to like leave, and he was like, how's your stay so far? And I was like, oh, it's good. And he's like, and I was just really like distraught, you know. I was just very like, what the fuck is going on? So I didn't like really process like why he was asking me how my stay was going. But he was like, how's your stay? And I was like, it's good. And he's like, oh, I'm the owner, by the way. I was like, oh, you're the owner, like, of the, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, it's great. He's like, okay, cool. So I leave, and obviously the stay wasn't that great because there was like all those reasons why I listed, like why it sucked, like all these like little things. But I wasn't gonna tell him that in that moment, obviously. Also, I'm just not good at confrontation anyway, so whatever. So they move the truck, we leave, everything's fine. Our trip is over, we leave, we go home, everything's great, you know? And to be honest, I just like wasn't really that impressed with this Airbnb. It was advertised as a luxury suite and rental, and I just don't think that description really fit the property. You can't just slap a marble countertop on something and call it luxury. Like, that's just not really what it was. It was dirty, there were holes in the wall, there was limited supplies, there was not any communication about there being construction on the property, which I feel like is just such an easy thing to say, but it's fine. I also want to talk about the messages with them. So I spoke with the host the day we arrived, and then the next day, so on the 12th, they messaged me and said, "Hi Kinsey, how's your stay so far?" I didn't see the message until the 13th, and I responded and I said, "It's going good." And at this point I said, "Is there any extra paper towels, toilet paper, or tissues anywhere?" Because we were running low and there was none to be found. When I sent this message, I just expected them to say, "It's gonna be in this obscure place you haven't checked yet." Like, that's what I was expecting their response to be. But they responded and said, "Sure, we can bring them over. I will leave them at the front porch." Again, I don't have a lot of experience with Airbnb. I've stayed in Airbnbs in the past, but it's always been like with my mom and my sister and stuff, and I was never the person to book it, and we've never had this type of situation before where the host will drop us off more supplies. There's just always been enough supplies in the rental for us, so I just did not expect her to drop off the supplies, but she did, so okay. And she sent a photo of a roll of paper towels and then a pack of toilet paper on the front porch to me, and then said, "There you go." About an hour later, by the way. And I said, "Thank you so much." So that was like the only messages that were sent during my stay, was them asking me how's it going, and I just asked for more supplies, and then they dropped it off for me. Now, I also during the stay I also needed more trash bags, and I did not bother asking them for it because again, I'm a people pleaser. I don't want to bother them. I don't want them to have to come by and drop things off. And I also just didn't really think to message them for more, because it just, in my head, that's not like the normal practice to message the host and be like, "I need more stuff." Like, I just feel like it should just be in the rental. Not to mention, you can see how long our stay is, so why wouldn't you leave extra supplies for the length of our stay? Like, if we were only staying for like a night or two, I get that, but it was like a 5-night stay. You don't think we're gonna need an extra trash bag or two? Like, I don't know, whatever. So our trip is over, and our trip ended, like I said, on the 16th. And about 2 weeks later, I finally get a notification from Airbnb saying, like, "Rate your recent trip." I had been thinking long and hard about my review and what I was going to be saying, and this is where the real story starts, because up until this point I wasn't like that much tripping over it. I'm like, you know, there were some little things, but it's fine. Honestly, at this point I definitely was not going to stay there again, just because I didn't like the location that much. It was just kind of on a busy street. The driveway situation just wasn't my favorite. I also just feel like the rental itself had limited supplies, and it was also just kind of expensive. But anyways, so I already like knew I probably wouldn't stay again, but I thought for my review I would just be honest about my experience. And here's the thing, as a small business owner myself, I know how impactful negative reviews are, but at the very least my negative review was very in-depth, and I was honest and I was straight up about what I experienced. I hate when people just leave like a 1-star and then they have no review. It's just a 1-star with nothing else to say about it. Like, that's what bothers me. So at the very least, if I was going to give them a negative review, I was going to be very in-depth about my experience as to why I gave you a negative review. So let's get into it, girls. So this was my first time doing a review with Airbnb, and I'm not sure if it's like the same thing for every rental. But as I was doing my review, it was going through a bunch of different pages, like, okay, rate the cleanliness on a scale of like 1 to 5, rate like the check-in process on a scale of 1 to 5. Like, it was doing all that, so I was doing that, and I'm like, okay. And it said to leave my review. And I was typing this review up with my boyfriend, like he was on call with me, and we were trying to like type this up. And we quickly realized that there was a character limit, so I could not say everything that I wanted to say, so I had to cut some things out, kind of like not talk about things as in depth as I wanted to, because there was a character limit and there's a lot of issues I needed to touch on. So I will read you guys my review. It's public, it's on their listing, so this is what I said. So first of all, overall I gave this place 3 stars. That's just what I felt like it deserved. Do I necessarily think it was a 3-star stay? Not necessarily, but I definitely would not say it was 4 stars either. If I could give it like 3.5, I would have, but you can't do that. So I just opted for the 3 stars because I knew it was absolutely not a 4-star stay in my opinion. Okay, so here's what I said. So I gave it 3 stars, and I said, this home met the needs for our vacation and had plenty of space for the 3 of us. However, there were a few issues that we experienced. We found a dirty/stained washcloth in the nightstand drawer. After being there for less than 24 hours, walking around the house left my socks almost black. They were brand new socks, by the way, never been worn. There were multiple holes in the walls/plaster ripped off the wall in the bathroom. One of the wall decorations was broken, and under it the wall was dented like someone punched it. No extra trash bags for the kitchen or bathroom garbage cans. There was construction on the property during our stay, which did wake us up. It wasn't a big inconvenience, however, it would have been nice to have been notified. One of our guests who was inside for the entire 5-day stay, who was my best friend, left the house with small red bites on her arm. Which was true. My bestie who stayed with us, I'm sorry, I have my lip oil in my hand. She didn't leave the Airbnb, and when we were driving home, she had red bites all over her arm. The floors throughout the house and in the shower were extremely loud and creaky. And then I said, hosts were very nice and attentive, and these issues did not break our stay. However, I do think they should be fixed. My whole main theme was like, our stay was fine. It was fine. The house was fine. It met the needs for us. It had plenty of space for us. It was fine. But there were just a lot of little issues that I feel like could have so easily been fixed. How hard is it to paint over a hole and missing plaster and paint from the wall? How hard is it to do that? Like, how hard is it to clean the floors properly? How hard is it to put an extra thing of trash bags in the cabinet? How hard is it? Like, there were just some things that I just feel like we should not have experienced this, because it's just such an easy fix. That was my review. That was several rounds of like editing and condensing and stuff like that. So there were definitely a lot more things I wanted to touch on, but I couldn't in the review. After I left that review, there was an option to leave like a private review for the host to just see privately. And I did. I just said, thank you so much for our stay. I want to make it very clear our stay was just fine, but there were just a lot of issues I think that could have been easily fixed. I don't have access to what I said in that like private review, so I don't remember what I said, but whatever. So after all that happened, the host then sends me a message. Now I want to say I don't think the host, their first language is English, because their English was kind of broken and a little like just not correct. So I'm going to be reading the messages like how I think what they were trying to say. So I just want to make that clear. Also, I'm going to be referring to the host as a she, because the profile picture is a woman, but the person I spoke to on the property was a man. So I think it was like a couple, but I'm going to just be referring to them as a she because that's what's in the profile picture. And they said, "Thanks, Kinsey. We gave you all the supplies you requested. What is going on with the 3-star review? We even let you check in early with no charge." Shaking my head now. And I was a little taken aback by this because I feel like I was very thorough in my review and I gave a lot of points as to issues that we experienced, and that's all they have to say is, well, we gave you the supplies you requested and you gave us 3 stars. Like, why? And it's like, what? Like, did you not read my review? And then they also said, we even let you check in early with no charge, which is literally false. And even if they did, it was 6 minutes early. 6 minutes. She allegedly gave us access to the house 6 minutes early, which we did not even go into the house until 4 o'clock. So I'm like, what do you mean you gave us early check-in with no charge? Like, what? I responded again, and I was trying to be very nice because, like I said, I'm just a people pleaser. I'm a nice person. I don't want to start anything. Like, I'm just trying to be very professional. So this is what I responded with. I said, I explained a lot of it in the review. The house was dirty and there was a used rag in the nightstand, no extra trash bags for our trash, construction on the property where my car was blocked in the driveway with no prior communication about that. And I said, and yes, thank you for dropping off extra supplies when I asked. And the early check-in was only 6 minutes early, but we still didn't even enter the house until 4. They literally have a Ring camera. They could have literally seen that we were waiting outside until 4 o'clock. So I'm not sure what they're on about. And then I said, I'm just being honest about my stay. Personally, it didn't make my stay worse. However, I'm just trying to be honest in my review for others to see. After I said all of that, after my lengthy, mind you, 1,000-character review, and then now this message again, reiterating everything I already said, do you know what this woman said to me? She said, maybe you don't understand what 3 stars means in our little business. Oh, no, I get it. I get it. You actually don't give a single fuck about how my stay was. All you care about is a positive review. Got it. Noted. At this point, I was getting a little irritated because I have now several times talked about my experience and the issues I encountered. Are you serious? If somebody told me they found a dirty used rag in the nightstand, I would be absolutely appalled. I would be like, I am so sorry. That is disgusting. I will make sure we are checking the drawers next time because that is gross. Oh my gosh, the floors weren't cleaned. I am so sorry. I will make sure that the floors are cleaned next time. Oh my gosh, I apologize. We dropped the ball. We didn't message you about the construction. That is our bad. It was just a hectic day and we just didn't think to message you, blah, blah, blah. No. All you have to say is, maybe you don't know what 3 stars means for our little business. Oh my God. The amount of just entitlement and unprofessionalism is absolutely insane. Moving on. At this point, I was done. I was over it. I was like getting so heated and irritated, and I was like, what the fuck? And I want to say, during this time back in October when I posted this review, you could not see the stars that people left. When you saw reviews on Airbnb, at least for this listing, it didn't show the star value, it just showed the review. And then it showed like the overall accumulative rating for the listing, right? So I was like, why are you tripping over 3 stars when you can't even see it on the listing? Now you can see the star review, so now it does show mine, but at the time I was like, what the fuck is this bitch's problem? So I go back to my review and I look at it, and then I can see, oh my God, I could see she publicly responded to my review at this point, and I was like, oh my God. So I read it. This was her response. Hi, Kinsey. First of all, thank you for staying with us. Prior to your arrival, we did notify you we will be replacing some broken fences. I am not sure why in your review it states otherwise. Oh my God, I'm gonna rip my fucking head off. Also, throughout your stay, we didn't receive any requests from you or your guests for extra trash bags. We usually leave enough supplies for our guests. So I had to ask you for all extra paper products. Okay, girl, sure, that's fine, sure. If you need more, just ask. Think of Airbnb hosts like your front desk. Just call or text us. So we're lying. Like, so we're just lying now. Like, that's what's so crazy. So we're literally just like flat out lying. When I tell you guys, I can literally show you. These are literally the messages between us. So this was them reaching out after I booked it, and then this was them telling me about the lock, and then this is me asking for early check-in. As you can see, I told you all of this already. I gave you the timestamps, it's right there. This was them asking how my stay is going. This is them leaving the stuff on the front porch, and then this is all of our back and forth about the review. When I tell you, when I saw that response and she was claiming that she did notify me prior to my arrival, no, you did not. Oh my god, you and I both fucking know you did not. That is so, oh my god, that is so crazy. It's literally like the way the response to my review was only talking about like, okay, well, I'm not sure why your review says this, but we did notify you, and it's actually your fault that you didn't have trash bags because you didn't tell us. Like, that's literally what their response was. They didn't apologize for literally the plethora of other issues I experienced. They did not bring up any of that at all. Like, what the actual fuck is that? What is that? I need to know. So at this point, it became very clear to me that these people don't give a single flying fuck about their guests. They don't care if they have a good experience or not. All they care about is a good review, so people will want to book with them and they can make more money. That is absolutely all they give a shit about, and that is just very disheartening to me. If you're gonna go out of your way to be in the hospitality business, like, I think you should at least be like a nice person. And at this point, I was very, very mad. I was very mad because this is ridiculous. You are just being insanely unprofessional, and now you are literally lying. You are lying. Oh, that is so, why? Like, what? It just makes me so mad because I cannot respond anymore publicly. Like, it just, you know you did not fucking message me. You know you didn't. You know you didn't, and you're lying. Like, that's so crazy. So at this point, I'm over it. I'm over it. I don't want to talk anymore because there is no reasoning with this woman anymore because she doesn't care what I have to say. She doesn't give a fuck that her fucking rental is disgusting and there's no supplies in there and it's way too overpriced. She doesn't give a fuck. She does not give a flying motherfuck. She just wants her good review. So at this point, I was like, I'm done speaking with this person. After they said that, I responded again and I said, I'm sorry again. Notice how, why am I apologizing? Why am I apologizing? Bitch, why are you fucking apologizing? I said, I'm sorry again. I really don't know what to say. Everything I said was 100% honest. Personally, as a little business, you should be understanding if your guests have a negative experience and strive to provide a better one for the future. Duh. And then I said, not cool of you to lie in your response to my review either, saying you let me know about the construction prior to my stay. That was false. You can literally scroll up in our messages and see you never told me about any construction. And then I said, I will not be discussing this further with you since all you care about is a positive review, even if it's false. And I still feel like that message was very tame. I was very professional still, despite all professionalism from them out the window the second they messaged me first. Mind you, again, as somebody who also has a small business, I don't think I've ever gotten a bad review, but if I were to get one, I would want to know what the issue was and I would strive to fix it and apologize and do better in the future because that's what having a small business is about, you know? After I sent that message, they said, it's not about lying. It's not about lying. Then why did you lie? Then why did you lie? Oh my god. And then they said, just letting you know, 3 stars in this business means very, very bad experience. And I was leaving my review on Airbnb and it was telling me to give an overall rating. And you know, you click 5 stars and it says great experience, and then you click 4 and it says good experience, and then you click 3 and it says okay experience, right? That's what I was basing my rating off of. So I don't know what the fuck you want me to do, bitch, but that's not my fucking problem. Like, it's yours. Get a better rental. Fix your shit. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like, fuck you. Then they said, I'm sorry the cleaning lady had leftover. It happens that we can't control it 100%. Sometimes we need some understanding. I'm not gonna lie. The issues I experienced were fine. I'm honestly not even mad about my experience and like how dirty the place was. You know, I'm not even mad about that. I'm mad about how they fucking handled it. I'm mad about how they were talking to me and lying to me, and they refused to apologize, and they were being extremely unprofessional. That's what I'm mad about. That's what the fuck I'm mad about, because that is just ridiculous to me. I cannot, bitch. Oh my god. So I'm assuming what this message means is that they hire a cleaning person to come and clean the rental when they have like a guest leave or whatever. So they're not even the ones cleaning it. So you know what? Luxury suite and rental, I would behoove you to maybe actually like step foot in your rental and like take a good look at it and be like, wow, this place fucking sucks. They have 3 forks. You know, this rental sleeps 6, but we give them 3 forks. That makes no fucking sense. It has 3 double beds and a sofa bed. It literally sleeps 7, and you give us 3 fucking forks? And then she wants to fucking come at me saying sometimes we need some understanding. Bitch, I have been extremely understanding. God, I'm losing my mind, because there's just no way they're real. There's no way you run a business and you have, this is not their own, they have 3 properties, by the way. This is insane. And then after that they said, that's all I want to say. Thank you for choosing us again. Fuck you. I didn't respond after that because I was just done talking to them, because there was just no getting through to them. There was no professionalism anymore. Nothing. So yeah, that was my experience with Airbnb and my horror story. Let this be a lesson for you guys. If you are ever looking at reviews and you see a review and you see the host respond to it, just know the original person who left the review can no longer publicly respond. So these hosts can say whatever the fuck they want. So just be wary of that, because look at my experience. She flat out lied. Like, they literally lied in their response to me. And to be straight up after this, I wish I gave them 1 star. I wish so hard I gave them 1 fucking star, because what the fuck do you mean? What the fuck do you mean, bitch? That's all I wanted to talk about today. If you want to look for them, go ahead. I don't really give a shit. I don't care if they ever see this shit. Fuck you. You guys are fucking assholes, and you don't deserve to be on Airbnb if that's the way you're going to treat your fucking customers. That is ridiculous. After I paid you $1,000, really? You can't say sorry not 1 time for having a disgusting ass rental? Okay. Ha! Okay. No, that's cool. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me today, you guys. If you have any of your own Airbnb horror stories, let me know, because I'd love to hear them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I love you guys. I will see you later. Bye.